last Sunday, Brent messaged me and he said, he goes, would you like to talk to Austin? I don't really see the point. And he goes, we could talk to him about the Hitler stuff. And I was like,
oh my God. Brent is running PR for him. Oh my goodness.
I was like, Brent, I don't really see the point. He just kind of handed it to Austin, and Austin knew who I was. He was like, oh, I sent your Tumblr. It's in the mail. And so I started like pressing him immediately about after I thanked him for sending it, I was like, I just want to talk to you about the Hitler t-shirt stuff. And I kept like bringing it up, and he had a lot of different things to say about it. Like, as far as like, he said like negative, like negativity is going to get way more attention than positive attention. He goes, I don't love Hitler. He's like, people like, and it was this weird thing of like, I kept bringing it up because for me, I kept waiting to hear, and I don't know why, because you're never going to make somebody say the things you want them to say. Right. Like, and so I was just like, but you're not going to put Hitler on a shirt. Right. And he's like, all will be revealed when the line comes out. And I was like,
oh my God, I couldn't even tell you no. I couldn't tell you no.
So I'm going to make this worth it. Thank you for hanging on. So I just wanted to play something to reiterate a point I made in the chat. This is a bit of the conversation I had with Austin. And okay, so he put out the shirt with Anne Frank, and that's a nice sentiment, pandering or not. He didn't have to do it. Okay. But the thing is like, it comes off pandering. It does, because it's like you can't just say all that stuff about like Hitler, and like, because that was probably the most watched interview he had. Like, before that happened, I don't think there was a lot of news about like Austin St. John interviews, and I'm saying that as a fan. I'm not putting him down, but that was not like something where it was making headlines on like Yahoo News and things like that. So, like, I just want to play this real quick. I hope you can hear it.
Oh, you recorded it?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna play a bit of it real quick. And then I'm going to try to make the point I was making earlier too.
First thing people are going to do is go and look to see if there's any t-shirts there from that. And then look to see if there's any t-shirts there from that.
Hold on.
I'm not mad at any of them. I'm grateful for every one of them. And it's because A, every time they do it, I get stronger. And B, they just gave my new website that I haven't even launched. I haven't even launched it yet. They gave it a ton of press. So the second I launch it, the first thing people are going to do is go and look to see if there's any t-shirts there from that. And I never made one. Never made one. So people just have stupid attacks. And that's okay. I appreciate them. They're doing good things for me. So, and I don't even know if they have the wisdom to see it. I don't think they do.
I mean, so as a Jewish fan of yours, I hope you don't put it on there, but I hope that, I know there's a lot of people online that are pissy right now, and I just hope that
well, it's just it. There's not a lot online. There's not. It's right now, I think that whole blurb has reached maybe 0.01% of the fandom.
Right.
And people out there really don't care. Nobody cares about Hitler, including me. There are great people in history, and there are tyrants in history.
Yeah.
Each of them had things to say, and that's just a historical fact. The only reason this got pressed is because I am who I am. If I'd been a professor, if I'd been anybody else, nobody would have blinked. Oh, he's teaching about this or teaching about that. I mentioned Genghis Khan in the past. Nobody's going, oh my God, he loves Genghis. Because I don't. It's a historical reference. They make TV shows and movies about these guys. But the second that I make a statement, people are losing their minds. And I really just, they do what they do, and that's okay. And I wish them the best.
So like, I wanted to play that just because here's the thing, like, contrast that with if he would have just said, hey, I'm not going to put Hitler on a shirt. I'm sorry if it worried anybody. I'm sorry if it made anybody upset. And then he would have put out a shirt with Anne Frank. I think it would have came off a bit more genuine. Whereas like just pretending that wasn't a story, pretending that didn't matter, like, I think it just kind of, it wasn't a good look.
Well, one, that's a phenomenal a clip you got there. When he said no one cares about it, I don't think anyone cares about teachers who teach history. Okay, because hey, this is what happened in this year in this time in history. But when you say you want to make a shirt and profit off of it, that's when it becomes different than teaching history, because you're monetizing the hate. And you can say, well, he did have a good quote, move quotes aside, but it's what he stands for as a person. No one is like, I'm not going to say no one, but there is a select few who says, oh, he was a good leader from a leadership perspective. Everyone says, no, he was a villain, and he exploited his leadership abilities to proliferate the genocide of a group of people that the world has never seen before. And that rhetoric still lives on today. It permeates in all prisons. You have all these neo-Nazi groups. So for him to say it wasn't a big deal, and then for him to downplay the fandom and say only 0.1%, when it was literally covered by almost every news organization with the exception of like TMZ, to the point where people are getting blowback at Power Morphicon. People are saying they need to boycott it. I think it touched way more than this whole 0.01%. He's living in delusion land, and maybe he thought you were one of his fans who was just going to eat up everything he said.
Well, and the thing is like I do. The thing is, it's like I feel like if he just would have gone about it a different way, like, I realize you can't change what is, but I mean, like, I feel like there was still a time when if he would have apologized, it would have made a difference. And I'm glad that he didn't put it on there. Obviously, that's a step in the right direction, obviously, but I just wish it would have been coupled with something other than I was never going to do it, because it's like, well, then why'd you bring it up? So, and even when I talked to him, like, I was like, that was one time when I brought that up, but I brought it up like 2 other times too. And it was just kind of the same kind of thing. So like, I kept waiting for there to be that moment of him being like, man, don't worry about it. I'm sorry if it bothered you. And I was hoping that not just for me, but for anybody it did, like, bother, I guess. I don't know. Like, it was upsetting, because it's like, and it'd be one thing if it wasn't like Power Rangers, because that was like a childhood show and they tried to, in a cheesy way, instill a lot of good values. So it just was the wrong optics as far as all of that stuff goes. And at the end of the day, I'm glad he didn't do it. And I mean, I hope for the best, because I am a fan, but I wish that would have happened a bit differently.
And just for the record, you are in Kentucky, right?
No, I'm in Kansas City, man.
Kansas City? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did I get Kentucky? Oh, you got the Kansas City hat. Kansas City hat. And guess what? For everyone who was probably wondering, like me, Kansas City is a one-party consent state. So you have a perfectly legal recording of Austin St. John that is definitely about to get clipped. So thank you, Jason, for doing the real work and doing something that we've been wanting Brent to do for forever, but he would always make excuses as to not being able to do it. So,
and the whole reason I'm really sharing that at the end of the day is just because when I saw the site, I was as a Jewish person, I was glad that Anne Frank was on there. Like, I get how
pandering.
I get it. It meant something to me. But at the end of the day, I get how it comes off. I do. I'm not stupid. And it felt that way too. I'm not saying it didn't. But I just wish that when he talked about it, it would have came off like I'm sorry rather than just denying, because if he would have apologized, I think doing something like that, it would have came off like, here's something in good faith that I'm doing because I said something stupid on an interview and I shouldn't have said it or whatever. And then maybe this wouldn't have felt the pandering vibe, because I get that. And I am glad he didn't do it, because there was a lot of people that I talked to, like Power Rangers fans and stuff, and they're like, oh, I bet he's still going to do it. And I'm just like, so I was relieved.
You know, the thing is, you have no idea if he's going to do it or not. In your mind, even though he didn't say, oh, just wait till the website come out, a piece of you probably was like, he's probably going to do it. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, and there were other fans too that I talked to that like that would say things like, why would he have brought it up if he didn't want to do it? And it's like, there's no answer for that, you know? So I was glad when the site came up, it wasn't on there, but I just wish that there would have been that moment of like, either it was a mistake or I'm sorry or any of that stuff. But it is what it is, man. And I hope that I don't know. And my thing is for Austin too. I don't want him to be the guy that people wear like goofy shirts, like making fun of the stupid thing he said on that podcast just to like embarrass him. I don't want that for him. But I also wish that he would have been more, I don't know, willing to admit that he made a mistake. As far as saying that,
he would never admit that. But this just is what it is, man. That's just who he is, who he has shown us him to be as a person, in my opinion.
And the thing, I just want to say one more thing too. The thing is, and I'm sorry for keeping you up so late, and everybody too. The thing is like, if you look at his Facebook page in like 2019, he did this video that was like, it was like New Year's Eve, I think it was, or New Year's Day. And he was talking about like the meaning of New Year's or something. And like, that's the guy that like, when I say I'm an Austin St. John fan, that's the guy that like, I get goosebumps talking about that video because it meant the world to me. I was going through a divorce when he posted that to Facebook, and he had like nuggets of wisdom when he was just like talking off the top about like what matters and like moving forward for the new year. And I'm just like, that guy was inspiring in that video. And it's like, I wish that would have been the guy that would have came forward when it was, oops, I made a mistake. Because I think he could have been the guy to put this right as far as like people that were bothered. But instead it's just like, well, it's not on there. And that's good. But I think he could have done better. Because I've seen better. Like if you go to his Facebook page, it's on there still. And it's like, that's the guy that I was hoping would respond to the stuff. And when it didn't, I was just like disappointed. And when I talked to him, it was nice to talk to him, but it was like, man, like, is that it? So, yeah. Well, anyways,
thank you, man. I'll get this clipped up tomorrow. I'll clip it up before I go out for tomorrow, man. Appreciate it. You did the real work, man. You captured Austin St. John being Jason Lawrence Geiger. And that's rare. So it's unfortunate that, you did that at the expense of probably tarnishing the light you held him in. But
well, the thing is like I wish that like people would watch that video of him on his Facebook, because it's like, I know he's capable of a lot more than like this whole situation shows him to be, but whether he puts that forward or not, I don't know. But
time will tell. But maybe that person who he was in that video is no longer the person he is today. I mean, are you the same person you were 4 years ago or 2 years ago? People evolve, people grow, new information becomes available, people adopt new ideas, and ultimately people just change.
But regardless, you're consistent, man. So thank you for being you. Thanks for the channel. Keep doing what you're doing. Think about that Pisker stuff too, man. I know it's not the most popular thing in the world.
No, I could. Okay.
I felt what you were saying though, because that's how I feel too. I'm just like, man, that bothers me.
Here's the thing,
and I'm
man.
like, and it doesn't bother me because I think he's a saint. Like I get that some of the stuff was creepy, but I just am like, the fact that he got put in the position of like, this is how I feel like I have to deal with this. I'm just like, oh, that makes me. All right. Anyways,
first off, everybody, make sure I like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. But yeah, man, like I had to do that for the clip. That shit's getting clipped, man. You found gold. You found gold. That may get like, I hate to say it, probably like 5,000 views. In all honesty, but you captured fucking Austin St. John being Jason Lawrence Geiger. Do you realize like how major that is?
The thing is, for me, like I hear what you're saying, and I'm not saying that you're not right, but I'm just saying that I've seen, and it's not like it was scripted, like it was a Power Rangers episode where it was like he was in character, Jason Lee Scott or whatever. Like I've seen the guy himself actually say things that are empowering and that matter, because like it got me through a real tough time. And that was a Facebook video that I watched like again and again. Like I watched it maybe like 15 times, like the week after my divorce was over, because like I thought like my life was ending like when me and my wife got divorced. And so like I've seen better, and so it made me sad, that whole thing. And when I said like I'm sad like about like, and you had me on talking about the Tumblr and everything, I'm thrilled I got it, but like I was, part of me was sad because I was like, man, I've seen better from you. Like
it's like the death of a hero, man. You know,
or like
as Batman, the movie Batman, you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. And Jason Lawrence Geiger, Austin St. John, he's on villain time right now to a lot of different communities for a lot of different reasons. So with that out the way, man, excellent. I mean, I'll look into it. The Ed Piscar thing, it's sad. Another man lost his life over false allegations, and he couldn't take the pressure of facing the false allegations. That just show you how. Go ahead.
And how quickly people piled on too, man.
Oh, man. Like if you guys start getting into the Twitch drama, if you look up the George Not Found, where this girl basically made up the story that she was SA'd by a guy and he gave her alcohol and it was completely not true. But in the meantime, he still lost sponsorships, lost over 100,000 subs, which is probably like his active users. Just for her to be outed as lying. And she still ain't apologize or say anything like that. Like, what if he would have killed himself? Then what? So,
right.
All right, Jason, I gotta let you go, man.
Much love. Thanks for staying up tonight.
Hey, yeah, man. Thanks for popping in with that fucking piece of gold. All right. Salute to you, man. Salute to you.
Take care.
God damn, yo, holy shit. Did y'all hear that? Oh my God. That's getting clipped. I shared some stuff. I tagged you in Twitter. Man, he caught Austin St. John talking about it, talking about the Hitler stuff right before Power Morphicon in a legal way where it's legally like, hey, this is 100% legal recording. You couldn't ask for something better. You couldn't ask for something better. You couldn't ask for anything